Hello, I'm Jenny. You might have seen me before in another episode. This is the first time I am actually opening one. This is the third episode of the listening block. In previous episodes, we saw some general information about the TOEFL listening test, talked about 3 types of question and analyzed the structure of one of the types of recording, the conversation. We said in the previous episode that we were going to give the answers to the mock test about the library. So let's go. If you haven't watched the previous episodes yet, just check the playlists. See pages 34 to 41 of the book for a full breakdown of the conversation, questions, and mock test answers. Now let's go.
Now let's see the answers to the questions and some comments. The first question in the library mock test is this. 1. Why did the student go to the library? A. To inquire about the library. B. To learn about interlibrary loans. C. To attend a student orientation. D. To do some research. This is a question of detail, a type of question that we saw in the previous episode. The answer to this question is right at the beginning of the recording, in the reason phase, in the second speech. In this specific case, the key to the answer is to understand the meaning of the idiom, a few quick pointers. In the question, the correct alternative, letter A, does not repeat the key expression, but proposes that the reason for the student's visit is to learn about the library's resources. Here we have an example of something that happens in the entire exam, and we already talked about it in the writing block. Writing the same thing with different words. In the exam, the words used in the alternatives are chosen on purpose to prevent the candidate from finding the correct answer, by comparing the words in the alternatives to those used in the recordings, and also to distract the candidate by using words and expressions that appear in the recordings in the incorrect alternatives. If the candidate matches the vocabulary, they end up choosing a wrong answer. The second question can be classified as the speaker's attitude, which we will see in the next episode. Check it out. 2. Why does the librarian mention the history section to the student? A. He wants to show where the copy machines are. B. He assumes that she will be interested in that section. C. The student asked for a book she was reading at her last school. D. Students wrongly assume that the literature books are there. The answer to this question is in speech number 7. Okay. There we have the section for language, literature, and the arts, and upstairs is the history section. I notice that students who study your subject usually like to research there. The librarian gives the location of the history section because he knows that other students studying Latin American literature often research there. So, he deduces that this student will also do this. The correct alternative is B. He assumes that she will be interested in that section. The answer presents an interpretation of the librarian's speech and uses vocabulary not found in the recording, assumes. To identify the right answer, the candidate also needs to interpret the speech and know the meaning of the verb assume, presume.
Question number 3 is of the inference type. 3. What is implied by the student about the interlibrary loan service at her last school? A. She used it all the time. B. She appreciated it very much. C. It was not practical. D. It was very easy to use. The answer to this question, found in speech number 8, does not appear explicitly in the recording. We know this because of the way the question is written. What does the student imply? When we imply, we do not say it directly. So let's review what the student said. She said, "Wow, this is really good." At my other library, it usually took quite a long time to get any interlibrary loan. I had to plan very much in advance if I wanted to use the service. Your system seems much faster. The student says that, in her previous school, it usually took her a long time to get the necessary material. So, the correct alternative is C. It was not practical. The fourth question is detail question and requires 2 answers. 4. What is asked of students before they use any rare books? Choose 2 answers. A. Obtain a card. B. Ask for permission. C. Use gloves. D. Ask for interlibrary loan. The answer to this question appears explicitly in Speech 15. You require special permission to access this area and have to wear gloves while handling these books. Alternatives B and C. The fifth question is about the function of speech. 5. Listen again to part of the conversation. Student: Okay. So I can do all my research right here. All the resources, all the information I need are here in one place. Librarian: You're right, that's the idea. Which sentence best expresses what the librarian means when he says this? You're right, that's the idea. A. I think this is true. B. That might not be the right idea. C. We appreciate your suggestion. D. That is the intention. Again, the correct answer depends on the interpretation of the idiom, that is the idea, that is the intention. Therefore, the correct alternative is D. That is the intention.
Hello there. We're talking a lot about how the exam tests are structured, because knowing the exam exercises well is a proven strategy to get the best result in the exam. You can take it to the bank. The intention is to help you develop a different knowledge, which in English we call test wiseness. It is true that this knowledge is practical and you can develop it just by doing simulations. It's like a maze. If you practice escaping mazes, you get better and better and escape easier. What we are trying to do here is to help you draw the map, so that you can develop test wiseness based not only on your experience in taking the exam, but also applying theoretical knowledge. Trust me, with preparation like that you'll take the exam like a walk in the park.
This was the 3rd episode of the listening block. We reviewed the library mock test answers. See pages 34 to 41 of the book for a full breakdown of the conversation, questions, and mock test answers. Remember that this mini section of the listening test that we presented here in this meta course is just an example adapted from an exam test. To get the best result on the TOEFL, we need to practice with simulations. The difference is that the recordings are longer and there is no text for us to read. There are also more questions. The more we practice, the easier it will be when we take the real exam. Don't miss the next episode. We'll discuss 3 more types of listening test questions and talk more about what to do to get the best result on the TOEFL. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Until then, watch this space.